Good morning, all. Hope all of you are just fine and safe at your home. Many times we have read about e-learning, the benefit of use of internet in the field of e-learning, virtual classroom, and now this time has come and we should use this feature and enjoy it. And hope from 15th you all are enjoying this virtual classroom concept and the use of internet also. And now today I am here and to reach to you through this video with some topics. That is your first chapter will start, and that is your user management, data backup, and troubleshooting. Uh, then that is before and in this chapter we'll cover the topic permission, data backup, monitoring system and processes, troubleshooting of hardware and applications. And in the screen you are able to see that I have written here two types of users are there. One is a general user and one is a system administrator. That means who is a general user and who is a system administrator. I will explain you. Many times we are one computer or one system can be used by many users, and you can means if one system will be used by many users, then there is a question on our safety of our data. But how our data is saved? Because every user has a username and a password. Using this username and password, we log on to that our account, and then we work our work there, and we store our data in our account, so that unless until we give the permission, nobody can see our data. So who is a system administrator? Then system administrator is actually a person who is responsible for setting up and maintaining the system or server is called as the system administrator. Then you can ask here how can you come to know who is a system administrator and who is a general user? Actually, the permission given, depending upon the permission given or privilege given to the user, it differs. It defines which is a person is a system administrator or a general user. I can give you a simple example here. When you all are going to computer lab of your school, you all are going using the computer there. The program stored in the computer you are using, creating your file, saving your file, changing the appearance of the desktop and coming back. But you are not given permission, that you have not given permission to install any program there or to make change any configuration of the computer. So you all are their general user, and your teacher or your lab teacher is the system administrator there. So the person who is responsible for setting up and maintaining the system or server is called as the system administrator. Then who are the general user? General user means you all are the general user. Before that, I will explain you what are the actions performed by the system administrator. System administrator is useful, means responsible for user administration. That means the system administrator will set up or create an account, maintain that account, can delete that account. So these all are work of the system administrator. He is or she are responsible for maintaining the system, verify that peripherals are working properly or not. Peripherals means what? Peripheral means here the devices which are attached to the computer are from outside. That means printer, scanner, your monitor, these all are working properly or not. That also a system administrator will see. The monitor system performance, whether the system is working properly or it becomes slow, why it becomes slow. So these are the means troubleshooting also work of system administrator. He is also responsible for installing and uninstalling the software, create a backup and recover policy. Backup and recover means system administrator work is that when any due to any problem, maybe virus, maybe system crash, or maybe any other problem, the data will be lost from the computer. Then how can it be recovered again? That is known as your backup, and that is the also work of your system administrator. Monitor network communication, password and identity management, because many users will use the same system, then everybody will have a different password and different user account, and how it will be managed, that is also the work of system administrator. Make changes to system settings such as date, time, etc. And who is a general user? General user can access the computer and run applications that are already installed. However, they may not have the privilege to install a particular application on the computer or make an important configuration. As I told you, when you are going to the computer lab of your school, you all are there general user, and your teacher or your lab teacher is the system administrator there. Now it is clear that who is a general user and who is a system administrator. I can give one example also. At your home, your parents are your system administrator, and you are the general user there. Parents have the right to install a software, to change the password, and to for other things, and you also just use the device to do your own work. So now all of you are understand between the difference between general user and system administrator, I think. So next is our actions of general user. You can open, create, edit, delete files and folders. You can use devices such as printers, scanners, speakers, pen drive also. Modify the appearance of the desktop. Sometimes you are putting your wallpaper of your choice. Sometimes your photograph you are putting to change the desktop. That work you can do as a general user. Use the installed application. All the programs already present in the computer, you can use it. You can change your user account and password also. Like the system, the privilege of the system, that which is a system administrator and general user, like that file also has some privilege, that whether you want to share the file with others or you don't want to share the file with others, that depends upon you. So for that we can give permission. Then file, that is what is file permission? The owner of the file or the system administrator has the right to grant or revoke these permissions for any set of users. Then now I will teach you how can you do this work. How can you grant permission to others, or how can you revoke permission from the others. For that, you right click on that particular file and select the option properties. One pop-up menu will appear, and from that pop-up menu you select the option properties. Here it will be last, the properties will be there, you select here the properties. When you select the properties, after that you select the tab security here, the security tab, and under the, when you click on the security tab, you will find this type of box will be appear, and you will find different options are there, different permissions are there: full control, modify, read and execute, read, write, special permissions and other. Whatever permission you want to give, you click on that option. Suppose if you want to give full control, then select on full control and then click on the OK button. Okay. Then now I will explain you what are the means. If you select full control, then what actions you can do. If you will give full control, you can open that file, you can read that file, you can edit that file, you can delete that file, and you can rename that file also. And if you will give modify, the same also you can do everything. But if only read and execute you will give it, the file you can only read and execute it to see the output. You cannot make any changes to the file. Later on I will show you what are the options available for these permissions. And next, next slide is here. These are the different types of permissions. As I told you, if you will get full control on a slide, you can read it, you can edit it, you can rename it, and you can delete it. And if you will modify option, permission you will get, you can do all the 4 operations. And for write, only you can open, read and edit. And if you will get only read permission, you can open and read it only. And if you will get read and execute, you can read and execute the program. And you cannot make any changes to that file. Next is your data backup. Before also I told you what is backup. Backup means to create a duplicate copy which for future reference. That means if any reason our file will be lost, we can we can get back our file. Known as that feature is known as a data backup. In a simple manner, these devices which I have shown you, pen drive, CD, a hard disk, previously floppy disks are used, memory stick, these all are used for data backup. We can store a copy for future reference using these devices. So backing up data is simply storing a copy of the files, folders, projects and mails in a location other than the original one. Then what is the need for a data backup? I told you already. It becomes important when a computer crashes or affected by virus which makes the files in the computer inaccessible or unusable. Then how can you back up the data? Using external devices, I told, like pen drive, CD, to store a copy of the data, that all of you are doing and you know how to use it also. Mailing yourself a copy of the data. That means you can send a email to your own yourself, so that your data will be stored in your inbox permanently unless you delete or remove the data from the inbox. Storing a copy of the data on a cloud-based storage space, which is very popular nowadays, and you all are using this Dropbox, iCloud, OneDrive also to store the data. You know the data cloud-based storage means data is stored in a server or in a remote server, and you can collect your data at any time you want. So and then after that, this is cloud computing. See, data from all sources will store in a remote server, but whenever you will need, you can get back your data, or you can get back your data and you can use it. And this is a very good feature, and nowadays it is very popular. So means why it is popular, you know, because wherever you go, and if internet facility is there, you can recover your data, you can gain your data, or you can get back your data from any time, anywhere, and can use it. You don't have to take any devices with you. So that's why this cloud computing becomes very popular. Later on we'll read about this cloud computing. And I think for today we'll stop here, and in the next class, means next Tuesday, we'll cover other topics. And before that, I will review the chapter. What we have learned today, we have learned types of user depending upon the privilege of the user. Two types of user: one is your general user and one is your system administrator. Definition of general user and system administrator we have covered. The actions performed by general user and system administrator also have performed. What is data backup, need for data backup, and devices used for data backup, these all we have covered in this chapter. And all of you, I want you go through these slides and learn the definitions, so that in the next class we can do some assignments. Okay, thank you all.